Hello everyone, and once again, welcome back to my channel Server Gyan. My name is Lokendra Singh, and today we are going to discuss about some important questions which are usually asked to those guys who are experienced within AWS. But recently days, I have been taking interviews of couple of guys, but I found that people are not aware of basic things even of EC2. So that's why I thought of sharing this information with you guys. So let us start. But before starting this video, I would like to request you to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And if you like this video, so please share with your friends as well. Okay, so the very first question here is, what are the types of virtualization do we have on AWS platform? So how do we get to know what are the types of virtualization do we have? Okay, so for checking the virtualization tab, we will go to any of the region. We will try to create EC2 machine. Once we click launch, so obviously there are two components. First of all, this is written here virtualization type. This is showing HVM. Fine, but there are two different types. For example, if we click here on communities MIs, and after that we try to know about the virtualization type. Fine, so each and every component we can figure out here. For example, that what type of root device type we want to have. So if we select here, so obviously we will get to know the two type of virtualization here. For example, we have para virtual, and second one we already have seen as HVM. So overall we have two type of virtualization, either hardware assistant, which is known as HVM, or second one is known as para virtual. So okay, so this thing is clear. Like para virtualization, there are two type of virtualization, either HVM or the second one is para virtual. First thing is clear. Okay, then after, like, what are the type of root devices, we will discuss this. So what is written here? EBS, it means elastic block storage. What are the root device types? So first one type is EBS. Once again we will go to community tab, and after that we will see root device type. So first one is EBS and second one is known as instance store. And guys, there is most of time chances are there that we have a combination of instance store with para virtualization. It means if we have virtualization type is para virtual, then chances are there we are going to have instance storage device. Like root device type will be instance store. Okay, so let us not check it and let us go back once again. So it means two things are quite clear, that what are the type of root devices. So very first one here is EBS, and second one here is your para virtual, sorry, instance store. So these are two type of devices. Let us go to quick start once again. Now let us go next. So one another question here is, what is difference between T2.micro? What is T2, what is micro? So guys, T2 is the family type. It means the particular type of family we have. So this is T2, T3. So T2 and T3 are the family type. Like instance family type is T2 and T3. And when we talk about this particular section after dot, as you can see, T2 dot nano, T2 dot small, T2 dot medium. So the particular section after dot, this denotes the particular size of a machine. It means how much amount of RAM is there and how many CPUs are there. For example, if you see a difference between T2 micro and T2 and T3 micro, so over here we have one CPU, over here we have two CPU. Like if we talk about T2 micro, we have two CPUs. Fine. Over here we have one GB of RAM. Over here we have 1 GB of RAM. So that is the basic difference. So we have the difference of family. Fine. So what are the different type of family we have? So this is the instance family type, and this is the hardware size. Okay, this is the particular thing. Next thing here is, what are the EBS volume type and the particular use cases of it. So guys, this thing we have already seen, like what is difference between T2 and T2 micro. So we have discussed this. So we were talking about this question we have discussed like right now. And now what is the difference, like what are the EBS volume types and the particular use cases of it, we are going to discuss now. Okay, so we will click next. We will configure instance detail, and I hope there is a single question related to IAM. So yes guys, we will discuss this thing later on as per the sequence. So okay, why do we attach IAM role with EC2 machine while creating it? So guys, there is an option like attach and replace IAM role. So why do we create it? What is the need to create or associate IAM role? So guys, we can understand this thing very easily. Let us say we have a requirement that we want to, like the machine which we are going to create, we will have to upload some files onto S3 bucket. So for uploading S3 bucket files onto S3 bucket, we will need two things. Either one IAM role should be associated, and second thing here is, if we do not want to associate IAM role, then there is a need to have one one like username or password, and as we do not have username and password to be like configured onto any console, then we have IAM user. Whenever we create IAM user, so we have secret access and secret key ID, secret ID and secret access ID we have. So that's the thing which we configure. So rather than configuring that for individual users, we can associate IAM role, and this will allow us to upload or to perform any operation on the top of S3 bucket. Okay, what is advantage of IAM role with EC2 machine? So let us say we have 10 users, and those users are working as an admin. So what happens, let us say if you configured one key with EC2 machine and multiple users have access to that machine. So what if one user copies the particular key of another user, because these copies are usually kept, this particular access ID and secret key ID are kept in plain text format. So what if someone is able to read that, and the person may copy and paste the keys and is trying to use in some, maybe in some wrong manner, intentionally or maybe unintentionally, then what would happen? So in that case, for sure, that will be a problematic thing, wherein if we associate IAM role, so there is no need to configure individual users key ID. So that is the advantage of it. Okay, then what is the particular okay, now let us go to like this particular section, EBS volume. So we are going to add storage. So yes, this is the question here, like what are the types of EBS volume and the use cases. So this is the question here, guys, we are going to like see. So guys, we have three type of volume type. First of all is general purpose SSD, we have provisioned optimized, then after we have magnetic. So these are the primary type of volumes which we have, but there is a condition, like these are the three type of volumes which we can use or which we can have for having root device type. It means the particular device which is going to be associated as /root, so that can be of three type, like either general purpose SSD, provisioned IOPS SSD, or maybe magnetic. But there are two other type of volumes as well, which are cold HDD and throughput optimized. So cold HDD is especially used for those purpose whenever, let us say, we have a MySQL database and we have master and slave configured there, and now the requirement here is that whenever we are talking about slaves, so whenever we need to configure slave and read operation is a lot there, it means write operation are less and read operation are higher, then in that case we can talk about, we can use this cold HDD. But when we talk throughput optimized, so obviously like if we need overall throughput, so we can opt this. So if you see here, so obviously IOPS is NA, not applicable, and throughput is this much. Baseline is 500 MB per second per terabyte. So this is the particular throughput which we are going to have here. Okay, so I'm going to cancel it. So let us see the next question. So like why do we attach, we have discussed it. What is the advantage of IAM role on EC2, like with EC2 we have discussed this. Now next question here is what is the use cases of tags, which means like what are use case of, what is the uses of tags with EC2 and AWS resources. Okay, so let us go and let us try to understand about tags as well. So let us say why do we add tags. First of all, name we will add, like why we are going to create this machine. So let us say this is for demo. Then after next tag here is going to be owner. For example, we have 16 CPU and 32 GB of RAM available with this server, and what is going to happen, let us say we analyze after 15 days that this server is underutilized. Let us configure the tag. First of all, OS is Linux, then after flavor, FLAVOUR flavor, we have let us say Red Hat, then after we have maybe any other component, maybe environment is let us say dev, it is not for prod. Then after like software, then after we are going to install maybe Apache here. So these are the particular tag we can add, or maybe if we have any other requirement to add any like team, so let us say DevOps. So these are the particular things. Now why we are going to configure these many tags. For example, if we get to know someday that this machine is underutilized, so we can contact Lokendra that this machine is running which you requested for, Linux operating system is running, flavor is Red Hat, and this is running in development environment, Apache software is running here, and this is configured for DevOps team. Fine. So we can reach out to Lokendra that if we need to reduce or we need to increase the resources on this. Moreover, this will be helpful for cost optimization as well. So that is why we configure tags. Okay, next security. So what are the options here, like what are the sources we can allow. So these are the particular things, like either we can have any custom IP address series, or we can allow maybe any security group, or like any other reference we can give here. So if we delete, so like either we can whitelist any individual CIDR, individual IP address, or any security group. So these are the three components we can whitelist. Okay, or from anywhere we can open it, or from your own IP address. So these are three resources which we are allowed to add by default. Fine. So these are the three resources: custom, anywhere, and my IP. Within custom, so we can allow either complete CIDR value, or individual IP address, or any security group for reference. So these are the things which we can perform. Next, okay, so we will have to add here maybe anywhere. Then after review and launch, so like make general purpose SSD a default boot device. So obviously we are going to make general purpose SSD only, or make general purpose SSD boot volume. So whatever are the particular recommendation is there, or continue with magnetic one. So like we selected multiple, so we will have to recheck and reconfigure it, and then after once again we will go back here. Reason being because I do not want to like configure it with magnetic. So obviously I'll have to select here general purpose. Fine. Now I will not see any sort of stuff here like that which I was seeing before. So obviously I shall be able to like do it. Now what is T2 T3 unlimited, we will discuss it later on. Now what are the type of hypervisor, we will discuss it. Now how to check shared AMI, so these are the questions remaining, we will discuss about after booting this machine. So let us say that we have this machine, and after that we are going to launch it. Okay, machine is created. So in the meanwhile, till the time machine is being created, we can see like what type of what are the type of hypervisors we have. So if we go to instance types, and I select here, let us say for example we select here T2.micro. Let us say we have T2.micro, and let us select one more as T3.micro. So this is instance type T3.micro. So if we check here other components, like let me select the particular hypervisor. Yes, this is the particular option which I'm going to select here, confirm. So right now we can get to know like the hypervisor type is T2 micro is running with Zen, and second hypervisor type is Nitro. So Nitro hypervisor are the types which are very faster and cheaper. Fine. So these are the answers of the question. Like we have two type of hypervisors here. Like we have first one is Zen and second one is Nitro. So how can we next question is how can we cover if we have lost the SSH keys? So guys, there is no way to recover, but yes, you can recover. You can still log into your instance. For example, you have any root user, and you have any additional sudo access user, so you can update the keys using that particular. Or there is one another way, like you will have to shut down the machine, you will mount the volume, or you will mount the root volume of this machine maybe to any other machine. Then after you will have to update the SSH keys there. For the same, I have already created a video on the channel, you can check that out. Now next question is how to check shared AMIs. Nice question here is, so I'll go to AMIs, and under AMI section there are three options. If I click here like owned by me, so all the AMIs which I own, so these will be shared. Like this will share public AMIs. Fine. And then after we can share the private images. So all the private images which you own and you might have shared, and what all images which are shared with you, you can check out here. Fine. Okay, so what is the next question here? Next question here is like what is T2 T3 unlimited option? Okay, so let me show you first like why do we have this question and what is the use cases of it. So if we talk about monitoring section, so there are two options here, like CPU credit usage, and CPU credit balance. So guys, T2 and T3 are the machine types which are given to us with some predefined or pre-allocated credit of usage. So if these credits are spent completely, so in that case our machine will start performing slower. So that is why this option is enabled, but in that case we have to pay extra. Let us say that we have a credit card and the limit of that credit card is maybe 50,000 rupees. So from first date of the month to 20 date of the month, we have utilized all 50,000 rupees, but still we have to run we have to use credit card for remaining time. So we will have that credit card, but still that will be of no use. So in the same way, like just as we can do some top up, so AWS will allocate some additional credits within our account for running these T2 and T3 type of machines, but obviously this is going to be paid option once again. So guys, this, I hope this has been informative, and guys, this is it for this video, guys. I hope that this has been informative. If you have any further questions, so please do write in comment box. I shall be happy to assist you on that. Thank you so very much. Have a good time. Happy learning.